You are watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the tallest, and the mightiest world platform. We are Revelations. I welcome you to another great episode. I'm always Queen Hadasha. Call me Empress Makida. I am Labraska, the Sun Goddess. Call me the Spear of Destiny, African's finest spiritual visionary. I welcome you to my show. I've missed you guys. We are now warming up. We are starting. We are bringing new fire into the show. Now, show no ne fapim ene ehon hyehyeye eyeden. Show no to say e wiase. E mo bia ho kwan so no nso mra emeka na asem nti wo opinion ana wa adwen ana wo feel say wo na unim nyansa cha obi ana wo sense of belonging bi enti wo feel say obi asem oka sebe eye nkwase asem na confusing krofo enti wo na anim nyansa cha ewiase enti dia wo pene yen for omumra you are nothing but a joker ya ka kire o say platform ni ye wiase obi a to ne tena bi sa pepepe no obi aso wo kwan so no so be kana asem e wa habi. That is one. Number two, before I come on this platform to interview anybody no enkrofo wo hwa ye omo adwuma se omo be hyehyɛ show no eni nipa na kasa coach no aye ni bibia so me fia medwuma ne say me host show no, but there are workers who will introduce the person through to the show, how it runs. No mo bisa ne so wo bibi ka e de kire wiase a no mo de se nipa na tenase na me ma be interview no enti se be ye nye zombies na ye sorry fi na ye asese obi a betena ho. So and the people that put these people together before I come and sit to interview them are doctors and lawyers. Papa, mentally unstable. And to show no one a fapima ejina so and when the rules na one regulations yenji obi esika and yenji obi ashe show nankasa na erane ne ho. From 8 years till now, yen ye sponsor your show, na ye run your show. Obiya ni wa, obetimi ejina baby aka se ono no making Revelations platform. Afeni ye starting new set, ye kokra nti ma introduce show no ne fapima ejina so e de ama wate ase. So before the Sun Goddess come and sit down to interview anybody no, na doctors ni lawyers ni ade ayo omo edwuma awie ansa na men so ma betenase. So if you feel otherwise, you can open your platform and do whatever you want and select the wise people you claim you know. No more better na so na omunkasa. Mama wakwaba show na starting to match them the way fapima ejina so and they said the kwanse ye de obi ato show ni so. Me ma wakwaba bio midin de onim dada. Ai ye nko ne yetete kwanche hayi ana adaji na eni ho. Eja abam ya starting a foforo kra. Papa, we welcome you to Revelations.
Thank you very much.
Great. This is your first time on this biggest platform, so please kindly pay obeisance to my followers, greet them, and introduce yourself to us.
Okay. Welcome everyone to the Revelation Show. My name is HASSAN Hamza from St. John's Grammar Senior High School, and I'm 16 years old.
Okay. You are 16 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you don't have any title yet in the Islamic worship?
I'm an imam for St. John's Grammar.
You imam or me country for me bro for na short. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see. So that place too, you people are doing your worship there in the school?
Yeah, we do our worship in the school.
Wow.
On Fridays and Sundays.
Sundays too, the Christians also do their own, or it's purely Islamic school?
No, it's mixed school, like all religions are in the school, but okay. There is a session for the Muslims after the church service.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's nice. Oh, okay. That's great. Oh, we welcome you.
Thank you very much.
To our show. The way the Americans say, our son, and our brother, whatever it is, we welcome you and we appreciate you. I like the bold step you have taken. What really brought you here? What made you to come to this platform?
Actually, there is a video of Baba Shaibu that I saw. Okay. That actually, I felt like he's confusing some Muslims, because you see, the one thing I've realized is that though we have different sects in Islam, but you shouldn't have the right to condemn someone's faith. But like condemning our faith, saying that the 5 daily prayers are or like those who practice 5 daily prayers are all idol worshippers.
Okay, you wait. Wait, we will come there. That is what he said. That is what pushed you here. Actually, you just said something I want you to address for me.
Okay.
You said though there are other sects.
Yeah.
What sect? What are those sects and what brought about those sects? Can you explain?
It's actually a division in Islam.
Okay.
So like everyone has his way of worship, but we all worship the same Allah. So like example, we have the Sunnis. The Sunnis are those who practice only and based on the ways of the Prophet only. And then we have the Shia. The Shia people, they are those who actually, they follow Imam Ali. That's the fourth Caliph in Islam, the fourth successor of the Prophet. And we have this Tijaniya. There's those who follow Sheikh Ahmed Tijani. They follow his ways and his way of worship. And we have the Qadariya, we have the Malikiya. It's just different sects, like, but everyone.
They all believe in one God.
They all believe in one God.
And is it okay?
Actually, I wouldn't say it's really okay, because the Prophet, his time, there was nothing like Sunni, Shia. Everyone was, but he started after the death of the Prophet, and he knew he's going to start. So these divisions has caused some confusions and distractions between Muslims.
Oh, okay, so that is what is confusing people, right?
Yeah, that's what's confusing.
Is there
people.
anything you think your leaders or your elders can do about it? Can they stop the division and put you people together? Is it possible in future?
It is possible, but it won't happen. Because actually, we all can unite as one people. But the thing is that these people think their way of worship is better. So no one is going to respect the views of others. Everyone holds his or her views, but without respecting. So I'm not sure it's going to happen.
But it's okay. Nobody will lose heaven if they should do that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Nobody will lose heaven, sure. Because at the end of the day, that's the priority.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody to lose his life.
Yes.
Sure. So if they worship through all these channels and they will get through to Allah, then we shouldn't have a problem with that, right?
Yeah, but the problem I have is that we all are based on one fundamental. That you see, we have 5 pillars of Islam, which is the Shahada, and we have the Salat, then we have the Zakah and the Ramadan and Hajj. These are the pillars of Islam. So whatever buildings you're going to put on that pillar is your own. So like the pillars are the important ones, because
so you should have the pillars. So if you have it and any style you put on it, goes through to
but
Allah.
That style should be according to the Prophet, according to his ways. It should be according to him.
So according to the ways of the Prophet, or according to the ways of Quran, what is the foundation of Islamic worship itself? What is the foundation? Is it Muhammad? Is it Quran? Which is which? Okay,
before answering that, you see, the Quran is it's like normal English. Then the hadith is like the literature or like the dictionary. So whatever thing you see in the Quran, you have to look through the dictionary and see if, like, let me relate it the Quran, everything in the Quran is explained in the hadith. Wherever hadith is, there is Quran inside. Quran is in everything, but not everything is in Quran. Example, Allah says that in the Quran, that Qul in kuntum tuhibbuna Allah. That's Quran chapter 3 verse 31. That if you believe in Allah, or if you love Allah, then follow the Prophet. Now Allah says that if you love him, follow the Prophet. Now, how are you going to follow the Prophet? Because the Quran is full revelation to the Prophet. Now, what are the ways of the Prophet? Now, the ways of the Prophet are in the hadith. That's what the Prophet did and what he said and what was revealed to him. It's in the hadith. So now, if you want to follow him, you should follow the hadith. And this is what many people don't believe in.
Okay, so now you've still not answered my question. Yeah. Is the foundations of Islamic worship, is it the Quran or the Prophet Muhammad?
It's actually the two, the combination of the two. But the main one is the Quran. But to combine the two will lead you to the way you're looking for. It will lead you to Allah. By holding only the Quran, you would actually go astray. Because Allah says in the Quran that I and my angels are sending salutations to the Prophet. So all those who believe, send salutations to the Prophet. Now, salutations in the Prophet is not in the Quran. It's in the Hadith.
You see this thing you are saying?
Yeah.
I feel it's a big problem.
Yes.
I'm not trying to throw shades at anybody. But truthfully, how many of your people can even read the Quran from cover to understand, to go to extent of reading the hadith. Because I think that's the problem. What Baba Shuaib's things that he said that everybody wants to talk about. People come and they want to talk about Baba Shuaib. I tell them he's not here to defend himself. But I'm asking you because of your age and where you stand and why you feel you should explain this. Now, when you look into the Quran, you will not find the 5 daily prayers there.
Of course.
But it is in the hadith.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, your people looking at the entire Islamic religion, how many do you think can read this Quran in total from cover to cover to go to extend the reading to hadith to understand everything they are practicing? Be honest.
Actually, I would say 60 to 70%. Because now, if they were to erase the Quran now, I bet someone can rewrite the Quran and everything inside the Quran.
It's because you people memorize it.
Yeah, 60% can do that. And 60% to 70% of Muslims globally, I think most of them have finished the Quran cover to cover and then read the hadith and are reading books of scholars. 60% to 70%.
But I have heard on this very platform that the Quran is the main thing. Yes, reading other hadith, because you know the hadith, they have plenty of it. That is what is bringing all this sect and all this confusion.
See, the hadith,
so if everything is not in Quran, okay, and there are some in the, how do we know this hadith is good, this one is not good? Don't you think that's what is bringing the confusion?
Not really, because for the hadith, before we take a hadith, we have Sahih. Sahih means authentic hadith. So before we say this hadith is authentic, it has to go through so many, like they have to check your chains, where you took the hadith. And if you've ever told a lie before, your hadith won't be Sahih. But if you are a truthful person and then the hadith too is like this, when they hear this hadith from this person, and they hear the same thing or related from another person, then it becomes a Sahih hadith. It becomes a firm hadith and a very good hadith. But if the hadith was from a liar or was from someone who never sat with the Prophet, example, someone like Abu Bakr, the first Caliph, he sat with the Prophet. We all know his life and his chains with the Prophet. All of his history says he was with the Prophet. So if this person says something that it came out from the mouth of the Prophet, surely we believe it. But if it came from someone I wouldn't mention it, but someone
how would we know? We will go and cross check. So mention one person.
Okay, someone I would say HASSAN and Hussein, they're grandsons of the Prophet. They didn't meet the Prophet, so they can't say the Prophet said, but they will say according to the tafsir of what the Prophet said, I derive this from what he said, and he will speak out. But since he has not sat with the Prophet, we can't take hadith from him. Because hadiths are from those.
So hadith that will come out, hadith that will come from somebody who sat with the Prophet, sitting with me now. Yeah. You can say that I met Maame Grace. She's like this, that, blah, blah, blah. We should take it. But after I'm gone, and my grandchildren watch the video and pick things out of it and derive something from it, we can't look at it and say this is authentic. Yeah, is that what you are saying?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. And the Bible has so many issues. Because all those who wrote the Bible, none of them saw Christ.
Yeah.
So let's leave that. It's none of your business anyways. So my next question is that, looking at the sect and the people that you said are the reason for the sect, the leaders, did they sat with Muhammad or they derive things from it?
Actually, we have what we called tabi'in. That you see, after the Prophet, there was caliphs. So after the caliphs, there is these scholars, big scholars, who have, and then at first, but it doesn't really happen now. But before we take a knowledge from you, we have to trace your origin, where you took that knowledge from. If that your origin is related to the Prophet, then we take your knowledge. An example, someone who sat with the Prophet, the one he taught and the one who taught him, and that chain, if it doesn't relate to you, we are not taking your knowledge. But you see, these leaders that you're talking about, an example, Ahmadiyya, for the people of Ahmadiyya, there is this guy, Ahmed Mirza from India. He was just a normal imam from a mosque who leads Jummah prayers and 5 daily prayers. He just stood up at once and says he's Imam Mahdi. That's the waiting one, the one we are waiting to come and save the people of Palestine. And one day he just stood up and says he's Isa. That's Jesus. You know, we believe that Jesus will come after the prophet, but he's not coming as a messenger, he's coming as a normal man. He just stood up and said he's Isa. And people believed in him. You see, these people who bring this kind of changes in Islam, they are those who have authority over local people. So it starts from like from some small amount, and these people
like this group thing.
Yeah, this group thing.
Then he gain the people's trust.
Yeah,
then
he gained their trust. Yeah, and then from there they will also go and teach another people. That's when it starts and goes all corners of the world. So it starts with them, and maybe sometimes it starts with their arrogance and ignorance, because now everyone wants to be bossy in religion. Everyone wants to be a sheikh or a scholar. So they can't unite, all the sects, they can't unite, because if they unite, some of them will be mixed up. Like, we can't see them anymore because of, you know, we have real scholars. And this sect that I'm talking about, it started from scholars. So it started from all the scholars. And actually, all of them is based on their understanding of the Quran. You see, if you only take the Quran as your reference, your deen won't be very strong. That's what leads to this kind of different. But if you take the Quran and the Hadith, because the Hadith explain entirely of the Quran. You know, the Prophet, Allah revealed some things to him, which is in the Hadith, but it's not in the Quran. And Allah says in the Quran that He has Kitab, the mother of books. Now, the mother of books is with Allah. And now He has taken all parts. We have Injil, Torah, Zabura, and the Quran. So Allah took from every prophet. Allah gave every prophet his own. He gave every prophet his own. Sorry to say, but this is why sometimes I go against Christians. You see, Allah, He said in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا. Indeed, we've sent to every nation a prophet. So the nation of Jesus, Allah sent to them, the people of Israel, Allah sent to them Jesus. And then He gave Jesus the gospel to teach the gospel.
That's the Torah.
No, that's the Injil. The Torah is for Moses.
The Torah is from Torah is like hadith for the Bible. Is that correct? You don't know about that.
Torah is like the holy book given to Moses, and Injila is the holy book given to Isa, but the Quran is the holy book given to the prophet. You see, some parts of the Bible are only sayings of Jesus Christ, which his disciples heard and wrote. So it's the same way as the hadith. The hadith is something which they saw the prophet doing, or they heard the prophet saying, or the prophet saw his companions doing, or compromise of the hadith. And some of the hadiths are true revelation from Allah, direct revelation from Allah. You know, the prophet went to Allah directly to take salah. He went to take the 5 daily prayers. At first it was 50, then it was reduced to 5. Now, if someone will come on a platform and tell the world that whoever practices 5 daily prayers is an idol worshipper. Now, when you practice the 5 daily prayers, first of all, it goes to Allah, only Allah. When we talk about idol, it's like worshiping any other deity than Allah. So if there is this and it's not only from him. Surprisingly, I've heard this from different high schools. I normally go to high schools, but I've heard this from different high schools. Tepa Senior High School, and there's one school in the Eastern region. I've heard this from some of the students, and actually, the understanding is, okay, since Allah says you should follow everything in the Quran, and Allah says in the Quran, سُنَّةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبَلِكُمْ وَلَنْ تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا. Now you should follow all that He has ordained to you. Now Allah says follow all that He has ordained to you, yeah, and all that Allah has ordained to you is in the Quran. And then that same Allah said in the Quran again that if you love Him, you should follow the Prophet. Now, to follow the Prophet, you need to combine the hadith with the Quran before you can follow the Prophet.
You cannot do alone with the Quran.
You cannot do only with the Quran.
So, do you have the hadith in the mosque? Do you sometimes read the hadith, or it's for particular people?
It's not for particular people.
It's for everybody, but it's not in the
Muslims,
mosque.
Yeah.
But it's not in the mosque.
It's in the mosque. Some mosques have the hadith.
Oh, okay.
Their problem is that we have Muslim hadith, we have Bukhari hadith, but all of them are of the same thing. Maybe they land on the same points, but like different paths. the words are a bit different, just like maybe King James and International Version, like just like the Bible, all means the same thing, but just a different way of saying.
Okay, so now we understand the Ahmadiyas, where they got their leader from.